Well, good day everyone. Long time no talk. Unfortunately, been very busy over the few months, car issues and other issues and things like that. So, but enough of the excuses. We're now back on the road. I've got two mates with me and we're doing a 3-day trip through the Wheatbelt. Tonight we're going to be at Billy Burning Rock hopefully, and then tomorrow night Eaglestone Rock. We're camping. This is a reconnaissance trip for my four-wheel drive club for a trip that I'm running in the March long weekend. We're going to be stopping at a number of different places along the way, doing some photography, put the drone up, and just generally having a good time. It's 10th of February, so it's summer, so there won't be any campfires tonight where we're going, but we don't really need it. And the weather's supposed to be perfect. I think it's going to be 30 degrees today, and hopefully the nights will be nice and clear. Anyway, I'll chat to you once we get a bit closer to our first stop, which will be Yorkerine Rock, and that's just north of Tamman. So I'll see you then. Thanks very much. G'day folks, we're just turned off at Meckering and we're going to visit the old earthquake site. Meckering was flattened by an earthquake in the late 60s, 1968 I think it was. So we're just coming into a place where one of the houses that was flattened has been left as it was. So we're just turning up now. We'll be there in a second and I'll get out and get the camera out and show you. Just up here on the left hand side, you can just sort of see it now. Okay, it's just up here on the left, pulling over.
Roger.
Yeah, I'll get out and give you a bit of a look. It's quite significant if you haven't never seen it before, to see what an earthquake can do. Alright, catch you shortly. Here we are guys, we're at the site of the Snook family home. This was flattened in the Meckering earthquakes in 1968. Absolutely amazing when you see the damage. It's been left this way as a memorial to the incident. Makes it all the more poignant now when you hear with the matter that's happened in Syria and Turkey in the last week. You can see a sign there saying baby's cot. When the earthquake hit, the mother had to grab the baby out of the cot and run out of the house. Otherwise, the baby would have been killed. But absolutely horrific what it would have been like. What year's your car, Steve? I don't. New one? Yeah. Alright, we'll be heading back on the road very shortly. Okay guys, that was the old earthquake site at Meckering. The place was called Sainsbury and it was the home of the Snook family, and the earthquake hit on the 14th of October 1968. I don't remember it much. I was only a young boy living in Northern then, but my father was one of the first that had to come out to do the rescues because he was main roads, and they couldn't get into Meckering because the road was cut off by a big fault line. That fault line no longer exists per se, but many years ago you could still see it when you drove into Meckering. Anyway, it's a little bit of history. I've got some source photos, I'll put them up and hopefully you'll like them. And we're now off to Tamman and then Yorkerine Rock. Catch ya. everyone, we've just turned off the Great Eastern Highway onto the Tamman Wildcatcham Road. We're making our way to Yorkerine Rock, where we'll stop and have a brew. I'll see if I can put the drone up, get some images from there. It's not a bad place to come and visit. Yorkerine Rock is a significant place for the local Noongar, I think the Balladong Noongar people. It is where it's a birthing site. It's where the women used to come here and traditionally give birth to their children. So can you imagine being pregnant and having to walk all this way to give birth to a child? And yeah, it was amazing. Anyway, it was still being used as a birthing site apparently up until the mid-60s, because the Indigenous women weren't allowed to go into the white people's hospital to give birth, which yeah, it's not really good. I'm glad we sort of moved on and moving on from those days, but it's a very interesting rock, a very significant place to come out and visit. And like anything, when you come and visit, don't desecrate it or do anything stupid, otherwise they'll stop us from coming to these places. But once we get a bit closer, I'll chat to you then, and we'll go from there. Catch ya. Okay guys, we're just coming up to Yorkerine Rock now. You'll see it very shortly once I turn the corner, and we'll head on in and have a look. Yeah, turning right just up here.
Turn right off the main drag into the reserve.
Thanks very much, Steve. Yorkerine Rock is quite a large rock. I'm not 100% sure of its dimensions, but it's very big. You can climb it and all that if you wish. Just don't miss the turn like I nearly did.
It's got a signpost.
Yeah, I wasn't looking though. Yeah, so it's quite a large rock. Come in and have a look.
Yeah, it's only turn left.
Thank you. Okay, we're just coming into the big car park now, so I'll have a brew, put the drone up, and I'll chat to you a bit later. Okay guys, that was Yorker Iron Rock. You would have seen the drone footage now that I just put up, and the still panorama that I did. I think a 3 or 4 shot panorama done with the drone. So as I said, it's quite an interesting place to come and look. Unfortunately today it's about 33 degrees out there, so it's getting a bit warm, and we couldn't be bothered climbing the rock in this heat, and the flies are getting a bit annoying. We're now making our way to our lunch stop, which is going to be Pagandi Sheep Yards, which is just south of a town called Ben Cubbon. So once we get closer to there, I'll have a chat to you, and we'll show you the Pagandi Sheep Yards. Alright, catch us all later. Thanks very much. Okay guys, I've been travelling for a little bit now, bloody flies, and we're now coming up to the Pagandi Sheep Yards, probably about 5-10 minutes away from them, about to turn off shortly. We're going to stop there, have lunch. I'll take the little video camera out and show you around. It's a bit of a historic sort of place. These sheep yards are made out of granite rock, and they're over probably 130 years old now. So very interesting place to go and see. Turning left up ahead. So we're turning left into, I think it's Bell Road.
Right, is it?
Yeah, right, sorry. Yeah, so as I said guys, we're heading towards the Pagandi Sheep Yards. Quite a historic sort of spot.
Yeah, observation.
And I'll talk to you when we get there. We've just turned down now to head towards Pagandi Sheep Yards. Probably a couple of minutes away, so not too far off now. Looking forward to having a cold drink and something to eat. I've got a pie on the Travel Buddy. Apparently the temperature outside is about 38 at the moment, so quite warmish. But we'll be right. Hopefully it'll cool down tonight. Talk to you in a minute. I'll open the gate. Steve, if you can shut it, please.
Yeah, got that car, I'll do the gate.
Okay, there is a gate. If it's closed, close it when you come in, and close it on your way out. That way access stays open for everyone to come down and have a look. You may be able to see on the...
How do you find this place, Carl?
Oh, some tourist brochures and photos. You can see,
okay.
you can see the large granite rock on the right hand side as we drive down the driveway. That's where they, Mr. Pagandi collected all the granite from to build these sheep yards. The way they did it was they'd light fires on the granite and then throw cold water on it, and that would crack the granite, and they would lift it up and carry it down and make the sheep yards. A lot of hard work. Yeah, I think I said before the temperature is about 37, 38. It is quite warm outside. Okay, and we are here. And that's the sheep yards there on the right hand side, and the remains of the old house or houses.
How's
I'll speak to you shortly. Okay guys, here we are at the Burgundy sheep yards. These are the yards that were made out of the granite rock. It came from that granite rock up there in the hill. So basically what he did was he'd light a fire on the granite and throw cold water on it, and the granite would split away, and then he could carry it, or moved it, all the way down here and made the sheep yards out of it. Unfortunately some of them have fallen over and gotten old and all that, but it's still quite a significant site to come and have a look at. Must have been a back-breaking job to do. Absolutely amazing though. Not much of it left now. You can see ruins of an old building there, and the old homestead's up around the back. We'll go and have a look at it later. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Tad warm, as I said before. I think it's about 38 at the moment, so temperature's getting up there. You can come here and have a picnic. There are little barbecue spots. You've got to use the barbecues that are in place, or bring your own food and sit down. But you have to be out of here by 6 o'clock because it is actually on private property. And it's the good grace of the farmer that lets us in here to have a look. Yeah, I'm not sure what this old building structure is. There's nothing on the signpost to say. Probably some sort of shed or something. As you can see, most of it's fallen down and no longer exists. It's still very interesting to look at. This is what remains of Burgundy's homestead. Not much left there. You can see the back of the old fridge, the fireplace that would have been in the kitchen. And you come around, still a bit of wall left there. Come around, you can see some rocks down the end there that might have been some sort of wall. But certainly not much left of it now. I was going to go up close and take a photo, but I'm not walking through that sort of grass on a 38-degree day in summer. The chance of coming across a snake, especially a dugite or something like that, it's just too great. So sit back and enjoy the video. Okay guys, we've been driving now for probably just on an hour from where we left Burgundy sheep yards. On the way we went and had a quick look at Lake McDermott, but there's no water in it. Lake McDermott's a big freshwater lake, so we've just come on now up through then Coven into Beacon, and now we're heading towards Billy Burning Rock. I think we're about 5 or so kilometres now from Billy Burning Rock. It's going to be our camp for tonight, so we should be there just around 3 o'clock at the latest. I haven't been here before, so it's going to be interesting to see what it's like. It's supposed to be quite a great place to camp at. So once we get there, I'll show you around. I'll get set up and then I'll take you around and show you around. See what we've got. I'll try and put the drone up at that as well, but it's, apparently it's about 39-40 degrees outside according to Mick's temperature gauges in his car. So it's getting a tad warm. Anyway, I'll talk to you shortly once we get closer to Billy Burning Rock. Okay guys, we just pulled into Billy Burning Rock. So we're gonna have a bit of a look around. I got told the first campground's not the best, to keep going around and you'll find better spots, so that's what we're going to do. Alright guys, yeah, we're just going to drive around, follow the road around, see where it takes us, see what there is to camp at, and I'll speak to you when we find somewhere good. Alright guys, we've camped at the Billy Burning Rock, been here a couple of hours. Hopefully you can see everything now. The sun's just starting to set, putting some nice colour on Billy Burning Rock. I was going to do a video a bit earlier, but the flies and the heat was just too bad, so we've been sort of sitting down. The sun's just about to set now, and we're going to start having tea, because hopefully the flies and all that should go once the sun's down. The wind has picked up a bit, which has kept it a bit pleasant, but without that wind it'll be absolutely putrid. It's a great spot, this we're camping at. We're at the second campsite called Echidna Exposure, and we're just here for the night. Got a nice little shelter, a couple of tables and stuff like that. I'll see what the weather's like in the morning in regards to wind, and might put the drone up and get a better shot of the rock and all that if it's not too windy. Otherwise, I'll chat to you tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Well, good morning everyone. Just finished packing up. We're getting ready to go in a minute. I had an absolutely wonderful night here last night. When we got in, it was really, really hot and close to 40 degrees. So by the time we finished setting up and all that, I was pretty knackered. Then the flies became quite annoying. So I didn't do any filming last night because of it. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic camping spot here. The night last night was just simply stunning. The skies were clear, the Milky Way was out, and we even saw the International Space Station. So it was a really, really good night. I'll just pan you around. I'm just showing you the campsite we're at. We're at campsite number 2 here, called Echidna Expanse. And there's a nice little shelter there, a couple of tables, some fire rings to use, and yeah, it's just quite spectacular. Coming now to the rock. Hopefully you can hear me well because it's a bit windy. So this is the side of the rock we're on. I think we're on the western side of it. So it's beautiful colours last night as the sun was setting on it. If I hadn't been so lazy, I would have got up and taken some photos, but I was just shattered after a long hot day. Anyway, that's this place. I did put the drone up a minute ago to try and get some footage. Unfortunately, above the height of the rock, the wind is absolutely howling and kept getting strong wind warnings. So I just grabbed a couple of still photos and a little bit of footage, which I'll put up in a minute. And we'll be getting ready to head off shortly. Our next stop today will be Bonnie Rock. I'll speak to you once we're on the road. Okay guys, as I said in the previous clip, we're packed up and we're now leaving Billy Burning Rock. Absolutely great spot, had a great night here, and we're going to make our way to our old town site called Bonnie Rock. So we'll see what that's. I've been there a few times before. There's not much left, but it's quite interesting to go and visit. So once we get a bit closer to there, I'll chat to you then. But yeah, if you get the chance and you're looking for somewhere to come and camp, this Billy Burning Rock north of Beacon is a very, very good site. We camped in site 2, as I said before. There is another little site further up, and there's one near the entrance, but the one near the entrance is what I would call one of the better ones. Mate, just follow the road around to the right as you come in, and that'll take you around to the other side. Alright, enough of me gibbering now. We'll get back onto the road and we'll chat to you soon. I forgot last night, guys, when we came in, we passed this, I don't know what you would call it, but someone set up a whole lot of little statues and figurines. It looks like a miniature Gnomeville. It's just up here to my front. It's not far from the campgrounds. So I'm going to come on in and take some photos. So I'll put those photos up once I do the video, but you can just see it now to our front. It's all a whole lot of knick-knacky stuff. So I'm just going to stop now and we'll grab some photos. Alright, catch us later. Okay guys, we've just turned off the road to a signpost saying Dat Join Rock and Well, it's supposed to be a historic site. So we're just pulling in now to have a look, see what there is here, see what there isn't. Just got to find a car park. Seems to be a lot of parks around. I'll just reverse up and park down on here. Alright, I'll chat to you a bit later. Okay, we just pulled up at Dat John Well, and there's a rock there as well out the back of the trees. You can't see it very well. It says the well is believed to have been dug and maintained by sandalwood cutters back in the early 1900s. So it's been around a long time, and when full, supplies approximately 800 litres of water. Okay. So this is the old well here. All you can see down the bottom now is just old leaves and all that, so I don't think there's much water in there. Alright, speak to you shortly. There's a story here that back in '71 a guy escaped from Waterloo prison. Name was Barney Brockman. He was an Aboriginal guy, and him and his wife and his 11 or 12 children hid here during while the police were looking for him in the early '71. And yeah, the sign just says camped here with his family. Then there's this big hole in the ground. We're trying to work out what it was for, but there's no sign saying it. Alright, I'm going to walk up to the rock. Okay, just coming up to the rock now. Just like a lot of the granite rocks in this area. It's amazing how some of the rocks just balance and never seem to fall. Not sure if you can see, but the moon's still out. Alright, catch us later. Yeah, there's some unusual rock formations around here. It's quite interesting. You can spend ages looking around places like this. That's why you got to get out and come out into the Wheatbelt. There's so much to see and do. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but if you can, hopefully it turns out, there's you can see a cut line in the rock there. And you can see around this whole area where they've cut out granite to use to make things out of. I can't find anything around here, but it may have been used in the early construction of the well. But they've definitely removed it from this area because you can see all the rock has been cut away and broken away. As I said before, what they used to do is they'd light a fire on top of it and then throw water, and that used to snap it up. Yeah, you can definitely see that the rock has been taken out from here. Yeah, the rock formations here are just absolutely stunning. Really, really good to come and have a look at. Alright, our next stop will be Bonnie Rock. We'll catch you then. Okay guys, that was just a quick tour of Dat John Rock. I've heard about it before, but I just never had a chance to pop in and see it. So we just happened to be driving along, saw the sign on the road and decided to pull in, and it's well worth it, you know, and read the history there about Brockman and how he came and lived here with his family and hid out, and lived off the land. Quite a fascinating story. So yeah, if you get the chance, come out and have a look. I reckon this place would be absolutely magnificent in wildflower season, because you can see the remnants of last season's flowers still lying around, and there's quite a lot of bird tracks and animal prints and stuff in the ground, so there must be quite a few animals out here. So yeah, if you're into bird photography, wildflower photography, all that sort of stuff, I reckon it'd be a great place to come and visit. Okay guys, we're going to turn onto the road and we're heading now towards the old town site of Bonnie Rock. So once I get closer to Bonnie Rock, I'll give you a hoy. Catch you then. Well, we're slowly making our way to Bonnie Rock, the old town site of Bonnie Rock. So far the road's been really good. All the roads we've driven on, both the gravel and the bitumen, have been okay, no major dramas. Looking at the map, we're probably 5 kilometres from Bonnie Rock now, so we should be there in 10 minutes. Luckily, so far on the trip, we haven't had any encounters with any kangaroos or emus at the moment, so hopefully it stays that way the whole trip. But I'll talk to you soon once we get closer to Bonnie Rock. Okay, we're not too far out of Bonnie Rock now. It's an old abandoned town. Some of the streets are still marked and there's signs saying where things are and all that. So if you ever come out this way, come and have a look. It's quite an interesting and historical site. There's a big wheat silos on the other side of the road, and this is it here. There's toilets and everything, so make yourself at home. Alright, talk to you a bit later. This is about the only main building left here now is the old Bonnie Rock Hall. Quite a magnificent old building. I don't think they use it anymore. It's also the site of the school from 1936 to 1941. There's another shed over there. I think that's the local fire brigade shed, and the wheat silos on the other side. But you can walk around. Some of the streets are still named, and there's signs up saying what was there. And
yeah, they said it's still used now.
Yeah, little playground to the side of the hall. Apparently the hall's still used on a regular basis too, so that's good to see. The hall was built in 1935. This are remains of an old tractor. The last time I was here a couple of years ago, it still had paint on it, but it's had a rough life and that paint's now gone. The front part of the radiator looks like it's fallen off too. That wasn't on the ground last time I was here. But yeah, time certainly takes its toll. Now you can see a nice little playground for the kids. Obviously when they use the hall, they come out and play, so it's good. And at the back there's some really nice toilets if you need to use toilets. Alright, I'll catch you later when we move on to our next location. Okay guys, that's Bonnie Rock. We're now going to head out now to another rock to have a look at some stuff there. Once I get a bit closer, I'll let you know. Hopefully, if you ever get a chance, I hope you get up here and have a look at these places. They're extremely interesting and well worth the time. Thanks very much. Yeah, so they're well worth coming and having a visit and looking around. They're very historic, a lot of interest here. So yeah, Anyway, I took some photos as well, so I'll put the still photos up now, and I'll see you when we're at our next location. Alright guys, we've decided we're going to head to Barraboarding Rock first. We'll go there and have a look. You can camp at Barraboarding Rock, and there is a drop toilet there if you want to. The campground's not very big, but it's a great place to stay. The rock itself is very interesting to have a look at. It's a very, very large granite rock that has a rock wall made by the pioneers that goes all the way around it, and that feeds into a great big water tank. So I decided I would take a run there to have a look, and I'll see if I can put the drone up and get some shots, as long as the wind's not too strong. I think it's dropped down a bit from what it was this morning, so I might be able to get some drone shots. But I'll let you know once we get there. So I'll chat to you shortly. Okay guys, we're not too far now from Barraboarding Rock. Turning right up here, turning right. You'll see it as I come around the corner.
Roger, right.
Just pull up and wait for the other guys to catch up. That should give you a bit of a view of the rock from there. And then we turn left to turn into it.
Gotcha, mate.
Yeah, this is a popular rock for camping. You can see the big water reservoir there on the right hand side. Usually get a few people camping here. It's a little bit quiet today, but get a view of the rock as I come around. You can see the big rock wall that was made by the pioneers, and it drains into this water tank. Alright, I'm going to see what it's like and put the drone up and get some photos. Catch you shortly.